Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And so to our agenda for our June meeting. Do we have any apologies for absence, please?
I've had apologies from Councillor King owing to personal commitments, Your Worship.
Thank you. And item 2, do we have any declarations of interest? Can members declare any interest that they haven't already declared, please? Okay, thank you. There doesn't seem to be any. And now to approve and sign the minutes of the last meeting as a correct record. So councillors would have received the minutes. They are also up on the board. If we could... Oh, they're not quite there yet. So...
Oh, they're on my screen, but they're not on yours. There we go.
So starting with page 1.
On freezer.
The whole new year.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, and page 2. Page 3. Page 4.
Point of clarity on
Yes.
page 3, staffing committee. I should be on that as the outgoing mayor.
Oh, you should, Councillor White. The copy you have there, Councillor Price, could you just add Councillor White's name to the end of that list, please?
Apologies, Councillor White. Okay, so page 4. Yes.
With page 4, with representatives to outside bodies, if you remember, I let us know we were considering better ways to consult the community, that we were going to bring the question back at a later date to maybe appoint more representatives to more outside bodies. So that wasn't minuted, maybe it doesn't need to be, but I just wanted to remind us that it's work in progress.
Should I put a note of that on, or?
I wouldn't add that to the minutes because that's quite a substantial change, but I think we know that that's coming back to the council. Councillor,
Are you happy with that, Councillor Grady? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, and Councillor Smythe?
May I look at the Resilience Committee membership, please, just to check my name's on it.
it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Councillor White?
The Glastonbury Town Deal Board, that first sentence is wrong, so I'm actually the Town Deal, Glastonbury Town Deal representative, and LB is exactly as it says in the second sentence. So he's representing you as the mayor on the Town Deal Board.
Okay.
So that first bit should just say that I'm the Glastonbury Town Deal.
Does that need amending on here?
Yeah, if you pass that back to me, it would have been very helpful if these problems were pointed out.
I only saw these tonight, unfortunately.
Should we continue on to page 5 while we're waiting?
There you go, Your Worship.
Thank you. And page 6.
Go very quickly.
Sorry, am I going too quick? Hi, yes, Councillor Napper.
Thank you, Your Worship. I do have a problem with the planning committee.
What page are you on, please, Councillor?
Sorry, going back to 5, but going on to 2, because someone has been using my name in the past to object to planning, and I'm just wondering whether that has occurred again. I think I know the people that are doing it, and I did make a complaint to the last planning authority. But like I say, I noticed that that there's been an objection to the planning in Dye House Lane, and if they've been using my name again, then I've not made an objection, but I am a bit annoyed about it, using my name to service what they want. Thank you.
Could I just mention, Your Worship, that that's not anything to do with our planning committee, Councillor Napper. That would be someone using your name to object directly to Somerset Council. And these resolutions in the minutes are only for noting. You may wish to bring that to the attention of the planning committee.
I just need to bring it up.
And, yeah, absolutely.
I'm aware of what is happening.
Also just making other people watching, listening to this meeting, that that's not to do with our own planning committee. That's to do with Somerset Council.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Napper. I would suggest that you do take that up with Somerset, 'cause that doesn't sound okay. Councillor Henderson?
For clarity, Terry, item 2 is not the planning application you're on about, I don't think.
Oh, it's not? Ah, okay.
I think this, but I will look into what you said.
Thank you.
Okay, so page 7. Yes, Councillor Napper?
Regrettably, I was not here last week, last meeting, and I note that it's been asked for £2,500 for testing of the River Brew. And why are we having £2,500 out of the kitty? Because the Environment Agency is doing this for free. I don't know if you know that, but the Environment Agency has got paddles in the mill stream or whatever to test the environment, and they are doing it for free. So why are we asking for £2.5 grand to facilitate that?
So that is a very interesting question. Councillor Napper, did you wish to speak to that?
Yes,
Councillor
I do,
Smythe?
Your Worship. Thank you very much. That proposal has been withdrawn.
It's been withdrawn?
Yeah.
That proposal has been withdrawn. Okay, page 8. Okay, so our oh, sorry, Councillor Rooney Dougal.
That's the next one down about the water fountains. We actually said not to be repaired, but to have new water fountains put in, because the electric ones keep on going wrong. They keep on being repaired, and we asked for new mechanical water fountains to replace them. So for them to be replaced rather than repaired.
Yeah, so
that was what we asked for.
So these were as the minutes were at the meeting, but I know it's been considered by the Property and Assets Committee, and that is the plan, is to change them.
We asked for it to be replaced. Right at the beginning,
Yes.
right from the beginning, the word repaired is incorrect.
That's fine. That's not as this set of minutes came to the meeting, though. So I would suggest you take that up with Melissa, who would have written them. But it's fine, because they're being looked into to being replaced.
No, we asked for them to be replaced at the recommendation, the discussion. It was all about replacing them, because the electrical ones.
They're going to be replaced, Councillor Rooney Dougal.
Is it my understanding that Property and Assets have now decided to replace the water fountains?
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
But in these minutes are wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know whether we
have the
need
word
to.
replaced rather
Do you want me
than
to just
repaired.
put?
The minutes are wrong.
If that would satisfy the council, yes, fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's page 7, and then page 8. Are councillors happy that these minutes are now a true reflection of our last meeting? Ayes, all suffice.
Aye.
Thank you. So if we could please now receive an update on actions from the last meeting.
Thank you, Your Worship. So there was a press release about yourself and Councillor Lokabandu being elected Mayor and Deputy respectively. The council committee lists have been updated. The Town Deal Board were advised of the change to membership, the correct way around. And I believe we are yet to discuss a response regarding the communication about the hyperacute stroke unit down in Yeovil. Unless you have both between you come up with a response, that's probably an outstanding action.
I believe it is outstanding, yes. We need to
Okay.
make sure we do that. Okay, thank you. So moving on to item number 5, to note the latest crime statistics report and receive an update from the police, who they're not here with us tonight. I don't know if they've sent us an update.
Trying to find the statistics that I normally put up, but it seems I can't find them.
They were in the folder, I think.
I've got them.
Found them. No, they don't normally go in the folder. It's a very, it's a very difficult page to print. But well, they do seem to have changed their statistics. There we go. 3 years.
So, councillors, this is for noting. And can somebody please advise when our next town centre crime reduction meeting is? 24th. Okay. All right, councillors, are we happy to move on? So item number 6, please, to consider and approve the schedule of payments. Councillors have all received these. I don't know if any questions have been received.
I didn't have any in advance of the meeting, no, Your Worship.
Okay, looks like Councillor Napper's got one.
Thank you, Your Worship. 6914, stone condition survey for wall in front of Town Hall. Can you tell me well, maybe not tonight, but can you give me the what the outcome was on that? I've been asked quite a few times about this by a couple of people.
So we will need quite a few bits of work doing to the stone frontage of the Town Hall, and it's something that the Property and Assets Committee is going to consider budgeting for next financial year, because we don't have the money to do it this year, but that will be a matter considered by the Property and Assets Committee in more detail.
Thank you. The next one is 6919, professional fees for the purchase of Beckery Resource Centre. Can you give me an update on that?
That was the fee for our solicitor for the work up until now. We are trying earnestly to get it over the line. We seem to have sorted 1 or 2 of the sort of disputes with the easement for National Grid. There's just a couple of other things that we would like to try and sort before the purchase is made. I also have to go and inspect the property because it's been damaged again since we last made an offer. So I need to look at revising the offer, and I'm doing that on Thursday afternoon.
Thank you. And 6940-41 and 6942, Step Ride and Thrive. I noticed that there's £1,727 and a 930. Is that coming out of the £11,000 which is in the coffers for the Step Ride and Thrive?
Yeah, so that will be coming from the money that's left over for the Step Ride and Thrive project, which was initiated by the local community network.
That'll be going down by about £2,500. The £11,000.
The budget monitoring report, you'll see the amount of money left for the Step Ride Thrive project. It's forecast to last until August.
Thank you. The other one, 6953, electricity for Beckery Old Road. What is that?
That's for the skate park, Councillor Napper.
Ah, I see. Okay, thank you.
Skate park.
Fine. Town Deal, St Anne's Project Management. Communication Officer, £1,600. That is, I presume that. Do you want to know the number?
No, I found it, Councillor Napper, 7,005. That is to do with the council's agreement to engage a communications contractor, and that's the amount of the monthly retainer. And
that's payment. That is, payment, yes. Okay. The last one, 7007, Violet's Charm Box, £297.
Yes, so the description for that is stock for the information centre. I can't tell you exactly what that stock is because I don't know, but it's stock to sell in the information centre.
Thank you.
Councillor Napper, thank you for your diligence and your thoroughness. I wonder if there's a reason why you're not able to send in these questions before the meeting.
Because I didn't get this before Monday, I think. Yeah, before yesterday.
Okay, so perhaps
They were in the online folder, Councillor Napper, which you do have access to.
it would be helpful for the clerk and the finance officer to receive these questions before
I
the
received
meeting.
them yesterday, so I thought that I can possibly ask the questions this evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so please remind me, schedule of payments, is that just for noting or is that to...
It's council happy to accept it, I will suffice, and then it's signed by yourself and the Deputy Mayor.
Okay,
please.
councillors, are we happy to accept the schedule of payments? I will suffice. Right, okay, and then I shall sign these. Thank you. Okay, and then the next item on the agenda, item 7, to note the budget monitoring report.
Haven't received any queries in advance, Your Worship, with it only showing us 2 months of the financial year. There's not a huge amount to show. However, happy to try and take any particular questions. I know it's we're going to look at doing which we'll discuss slightly later on as a result of our internal audit. We've been suggested that we might like to review and maybe reforecast our budgets in the middle of a financial year going forward, as we're a much larger town council than we used to be. So when you set a budget, by the end of the financial year, they're actually about 15 months, not out of date, but you set them 15 months ago. So we're going to start reviewing those in September. The responsible financial officer and I to probably actually come to the council slightly sooner than September for finance and general purposes, but it may not. We need to forecast how much work is needed to do that. And yeah, happy to try and take any questions, but there's not a huge amount to show.
Okay, Councillor Napper.
Thank you, Your Worship. I note that St Dunstan's house has not come up to expectation quite badly, and there probably a reason because of the restructuring, and I noticed that lower side allotments are in the red a little bit. The car park is in the red, which we probably know. Anyway, it looks like to me that there's about £185,000 that's not come up to budget. Now, either the budgets are wrong, or we haven't been collecting the money.
Councillor Napper, there are, I think, a number of councillors that would like to respond. Councillor Lochbander, your hand went up quite quickly.
The confusion is the budget is for 12 months and the actual is for 2 months. So we're not comparing like with like. It's a 12-month budget, so obviously the 2 months hasn't come up to the full expectations. I don't know if it's possible to revise the way it's presented, so we're comparing 2 months budget with 2 months actual. That would take quite a bit of work.
Thank you for that. It's just that I'm commenting on what is presented to me. Thank you.
Councillor Cousins.
Councillor Napper, if I was going to give you £12 over the year at £1 a month, we'd be at the second month and you'd have £2. And you'd be £10 in the red, which would look very bad on paper.
You don't have to tell me that kind of thing, Councillor. But what I'm just doing is commenting on the red figures. Thank you.
So, as Councillor Lochbander suggested,
Point of order.
there's...
Point of order. I think the behaviour of this councillor towards a fellow councillor is absolutely appalling, with the sarcastic remarks and the eye rolling. I don't think that's the sort of thing we would expect.
I did not see those
Right to reply.
things, but right to reply, Councillor Cousins.
I apologise, Terry.
I'll accept it.
Thank you, councillors.
Thank you.
Okay, so are we now ready to note the budget monitoring report? I will suffice.
Aye.
Thank you, councillors. Okay, item 8, to consider and approve the progression of the neighbourhood plan to the next statutory stage for community consultation. And I'm not sure who is to speak to this. Councillor Cousins, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. So we have reached quite a monumental stage within the neighbourhood plan. It's the penultimate step before we go to the final examination and then to reformation. And it's called Regulation 14. And this is a consultation with all of the statutory consultees who normally comment on planning applications, etc., and a few extra consultees that are required by the government. In addition, a consultation with the whole community, and an executive summary of the neighbourhood plan will be delivered to all households in Glastonbury, and there'll be a link on that to the full document, which is quite a large read for comment and feedback from the community, as well as the statutory consultees. And this lasts for just over a month. It starts on the 15th of June, Monday the 15th of June, and it will finish on Monday the 27th of July. And all of the comments, feedback, anything that we receive from statutory consultees will be compiled into a consultation statement. And this will then be submitted with the final version of the plan to the final examiner, which is government appointed examiner through Somerset Council. And that's called Regulation 16, and they will go through the whole plan and compare it to the type of outputs and outcomes that the government may wish to receive and see in such a plan, to check that it is more or less in line with the plan for the county, the local plan. And hopefully we get through that final examination without too much amendment. Then the neighbourhood plan will go to referendum. And my hope is that this may happen at the same time as the elections in May next year, so that it won't actually be an additional cost. But should the cost have to be taken, it won't be Glastonbury Town Council's precept, it will be Somerset Council that will pay for the reformation. And so it's quite a huge step now. I'm, as chair of the committee since we started in 2016, and previously to that, the discussions about whether we should even do it in 2015. It's taken over 10 years to get to this point. Sadly, we were interrupted by COVID and lockdowns and things like that. And it's also a fact that nearly all of the council that started this process are not sat around this table now. There's just a couple of us left. So it's been quite an undertaking. And I would just like to express my thanks and gratitude to the steering group over the years. Lots of members of the community have been involved. Lots of councillors past and present have been involved. And also to Planet, who, without their support and help through this, achieved through a grant from locality, we really wouldn't be at this stage. So it's absolutely massive step in the right direction for the neighbourhood plan, and I really look forward to ending this consultation process and moving forward to Regulation 16. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Thank you for all the hard work that's gone into it from all the various people that have helped out along the way. So I believe we're looking for a proposal. Are we?
Councillor
Yes,
O'Dougall.
I'm very happy to propose that this council approve for this to go through to Regulation 14, to be sent out to all the members of the community and to the stakeholders, for them to be consulted, for them to give their opinions, their advice, and any other topics that they wish to raise, so that we can then move on to the next stage. That's
Thank you, Councillor Rooney-Dougal. And would anybody like to second that?
Happy to second it.
Thank you, Councillor Don Francesco. Would anybody like to speak against? Then I suggest we move to vote. All those in favour? All those abstaining? Have I done that in the wrong order?
Yes.
No?
It should be
Yes?
against.
So, sorry, we've just done all those for. All those against, please. Anybody against? And anybody abstaining? 2 abstentions. Thank you, councillors. Okay, item number 9, to receive the income and expenditure account and balance sheet for 2025 to 2026.
Thank you, Your Worship. This was in the folder in advance of the meeting. Happy to try and take any questions, but this has been put together by our accountant who worked with our responsible financial officer, and this piece of work informs our next few agenda items with the annual governance and accountability return. So, as I said, happy to try and answer any questions, but this is for the council to propose, second, and take a vote to accept, please.
It doesn't look like there's any questions, so, oh, sorry, councillor.
So where's the page 50 of 15 that Transparency Project is always talking about? It doesn't seem to have enough pages.
This has the number of pages for the report that we've put together, Councillor Osborne, so I can't comment.
They must be wrong. Shocking.
Okay, so I don't know. Yes, councillor Cousins?
Perhaps page 15 is with page 55, Your Worship.
Okay, so unless anybody else wishes to speak about this, I think we are looking for a proposal.
I'm happy to propose it.
That we accept these accounts?
Accept the accounts.
Thank you, councillor Lockabandoo. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, councillor Henderson. Anybody wish to speak against? All those in favour? Thank you. Is that unanimous? Thank you very much, councillors. Okay, so item number 10, to consider the internal auditor's report and make provision to implement any recommendations.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is quite a lengthy document, 12 pages long. So this is the result of our internal audit, which is half of the process that we go through in terms of auditing every year. We have an internal audit, which is a funny name because it's not conducted by an internal person. The council appoints who is independent. That's why it's called the internal audit, because we appoint that person, but they are independent. And then the findings of this report goes off to an external auditor, which is appointed on a regional basis by an organisation called it's either SAAA or SAPPP. I can't remember. There's 2 of them. But I hope councillors had an opportunity to read through the content of the internal report. Essentially, the findings were that in the areas that are examined on a nationally set down basis, the town council is run in a proper way in all of them, and we are being recommended, which is the next agenda item, to tick yes to all 10 assertions in our annual governance statement. Now, in terms of any additional recommendations from this document, what full council normally does is refers it to finance and general purposes to consider in more detail to come up with how the council may implement any of the additional best practice recommendations that may have come out of the internal auditor's report. So what I would hope that the full council will do tonight is vote to accept this internal audit report and to refer any recommendations to the Finance and General Purposes Committee for them to come back after their July meeting back to full council on how to implement any further best practice elements. But it was a tick in the box for all 10 assertions that we're being asked to state that we are run in a well way, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. Councillor Cousins, you have your hand up.
Okay, Your Worship, I'm deeply disappointed that this document also doesn't have a page 15 or 55, as I've read so much about those pages online, particularly the Glastonbury Transparency Project. Could we clarify, has there ever been a page 15 or page 55 to this document?
There never has, Councillor Cousins. It's only ever been 12 pages.
Your Worship, right to reply. I really don't understand where the Glastonbury Transparency Project is getting its information from.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Okay, I believe we're looking for a proposal then. Councillor Rooney-Dougal.
No, I'm not doing a proposal. I'm going to just ask about one particular aspect of it, which is something that we've talked about a lot in the council. It's on page 6, where it talks about the different banks that we're using. And if you remember, we voted that we would move to banks that had good records, that they were not funding the arms trade or the farmer trade or these other aspects that banks go in. And I see that I know we have to use HSBC for various reasons, but I see that we're leaving a large deposit in HSBC. It's not as big as the deposit we're leaving in the Unity, which is one of these good banks that we said that we would work with. I've forgotten the word at the moment, but that's because I'm getting old and my brain doesn't work so well. But I'm wondering why we're leaving so much money with HSBC for them to use for the arms trade and other things that we don't want our money used for.
Thank you, Councillor Rooney-Dougal.
So the short reason that it takes us a little bit of time to remove the money from those accounts. We have payment limits, and with the number of transactions going through the town council, it often doesn't leave very much within those payment limits to move money around. So this was a statement of the money at the end of last financial year. We received the precept, which was 1,100 and something thousand, can't remember, and that all went into our Unity Trust deposit account. So we are moving money out of HSBC, and the small amount of money in the current account is because we're still receiving the odd payment in and out of that account whilst we switch. But we are moving money out of HSBC to Unity Trust, and actually that method of payments for the council using Unity Trust is working very well.
Okay, councillors, so we are looking for a proposal.
I'm happy to propose that
Thank you,
it
Councillor
goes
White.
to, we accept, and it goes to finance and general purposes.
Okay, and do we have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Anybody wish to speak against? Okay, let's move to vote. All those in favour? Is that unanimous? Thank you very much, councillors.
Additionally, all of these documents will end up on the financial documents section of the website now that you've considered them this evening. There's a few more still to go through.
Okay. So item number 11. To consider and approve the annual governance statement for 2025-2026.
So I will zoom in on this, Your Worship. It is in the folder for those councillors who have devices to look at, or it may be printed out for you as well. Each year for our annual governance and accountability return, we are asked section 1 to tick yes or no in now 10, used to be 9, different assertions. Now, the recommendations for these ticks come from our internal auditor and their examination of a whole range of things across the entire council. What we do need to do, Your Worship, is unfortunately vote on each one of these in turn. So if you would like me to, I'm happy to read out each assertion and the recommendation for whether we tick yes or no, and then have a proposer seconder for do we tick yes or no, and then take a vote, Your Worship. But that's the way we have to do it.
Yeah, yes, please, if we could.
Okay.
I know it's a long process, but it is how we must do it. Councillors,
Okay.
please.
Assertion 1, we have put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and for the preparation of accounting statements. Now, we are being recommended by our internal auditor to tick yes.
Can I have a proposal, please? Thank you, Councillor
Proposed.
Henderson. Councillor Don Francesco, 2 seconds. All those in favour? Is that unanimous? I can't quite see.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Assertion 2, we maintained an adequate system of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption, and reviewed its effectiveness. We are being recommended by our internal auditor to tick the box yes.
Can I have a proposal, please? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Lockbandy. Seconder, Councillor White. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you. Assertion 3. We have assured ourselves that there are no matters of actual or potential non-compliance with laws, regulations and proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on the ability of this authority to conduct its business or manage its finances. We are being recommended by our internal auditor to tick yes.
I have a proposer, please. Councillor Smythe, and a seconder, please. Councillor Manning. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you, councillors.
Thank you. Assertion 4. We provided proper opportunity during the year for the exercise of electors' rights in accordance with the requirements of the accounts and audit regulations. Our internal auditor is recommending that we tick the box yes.
Have a proposer, please. Councillor Don Francesco, and a seconder. Councillor Cousins. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you.
Assertion 5. We carried out an assessment of the risks facing this authority and took appropriate steps to manage those risks, including the introduction of internal controls and/or external insurance cover where required. Our internal auditor is recommending we tick the box yes.
Have a proposer, please. Councillor Cousins, and seconder, please. Councillor Much. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Assertion 6. We maintain throughout the year an adequate and effective system of internal audit of the accounting records and control systems.
Can I have a proposer for that, please? Councillor White, and a seconder. Councillor Lokabandu. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Assertion 7. We took appropriate actions on all matters raised in reports from internal and external audit the following year. Our internal auditor is recommending we tick the box yes.
Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Henderson, and a seconder. Councillor Much. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Assertion 8. We considered whether any litigation, liabilities or commitments, events or transactions occurring either during or after the year end have a financial impact on this authority and, where appropriate, have included them in the accounting statements. Internal auditor is recommending we tick the box yes.
Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Cousins, and a seconder. Councillor Don Francesco. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you.
Assertion 9. For local councils only, trust funds including charitable, in our capacity as the sole managing trustee, we discharged our accountability responsibilities for the fund's assets, including financial reporting and, if required, independent examination or audit. Our internal auditor is recommending we tick not applicable.
Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Henderson, and a seconder. Councillor Lokabandu. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you.
And lastly, Assertion 10, which is our new one for this year, we have put in place arrangements for the effective IT and data management in accordance with proper practices during the year under review. Our internal auditor is recommending we tick the box yes.
Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Match, and a seconder. Councillor White. All those in favour? That's unanimous again. Thank you very much, councillors.
Thank you. There is a document that we need you to sign, Your Worship, but I'll tell you what we could do. If you could just sign what's there next to the chair.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the end of that agenda item.
Okay, so agenda item 12. To consider and approve the accounting statements for 2025-2026.
Kept you all in suspense. This item here is the one that relates to the set of accounts 2 agenda items ago that you have accepted. So these figures come out of that set of accounts, and we are asking that the council the accounting statements and that you sign this document here, Your Worship. So I could have a proposer and a seconder that these are accepted, and you can sign them, Your Worship.
Councillor Cousins.
Just a point of clarity, could we enlarge it a little bit?
Yeah, I can certainly try. It does cut off a fair amount of the document, but there you go.
Okay.
Had it printed out, you could see
Can
it.
we have a proposer, please? Oh, did you want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just looking at line 3, for the other receipts, it seems remarkably high, because that's the income and expenditure, not including the precept, if I've understood it right.
Yes, so quite a lot of that is town deal money that was coming through the accounts. So what we might find at next year's AGAR, box 3 goes down, is what we would expect. But that's income that the town council generates, but also we were a lot of grant funding was coming through the town council.
Presumably that's also town deal fund.
Yes, yeah, town deal fund, community ownership fund, other grant funding that we've had through the council that might not happen again next year.
Okay, councillors, I'm looking for a proposer. Thank you, Councillor White, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Smythe. All those in favour that we approve these accounts? So that is unanimous. Thank you, councillors.
Another one for you to sign, Your Worship. If you could just sign that one in the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay. So item number 13, to note the 2025 to 2026 notice of public rights.
Thank you, Your Worship. There should be a document in here. The notice of public rights is a statutory requirement, and we are asking that the council, so it must always include the first 10 working days of July. We are asking the council to agree that our notice of public rights will run from Monday the 29th of June to Friday the 7th of August, and this is the opportunity for the public to come in and to inspect the accounts for the year 2024-25, to ask the responsible financial officer any questions and to take any copies of things that they may wish to. We're asking that the council agrees this window for the notice of public rights.
Councillor Cousins?
In the light of all the accusations that are being made against this council, seemingly unfounded, now we've discovered that those pages don't exist, would it be reasonable to put this information on our website so that people can't accuse us of trying not to allow people to see the accounts, as it were?
Yeah.
Because it's a very useful way for people to come and inspect what we do. There's also been quite a lot of misinformation and disinformation about the accounts of this council on Facebook, and I think it would be very useful, and hopefully it's all a bit more trust in this council.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. These documents and the notice of public rights always go on the website, as do the internal audit report, everything that we've considered this evening, and also because we're governed by legislation that was written in the 1970s and hasn't been substantially changed since. This document also has to stay in the notice board for the entire period of time of the public noted for the period of public rights. And yes, it will go on the website, it will go on the homepage and the financial documents section of the website, as it always does.
I'd like to reply, Your Worship. I wonder whether we could also make a Facebook post so that that is directing people to this, so that can be circulated amongst all of the people who would be interested to see our accounts.
Should we put that under the items for press release?
I've already used my green pen to highlight that.
Fantastic. Okay. All right then. So is this to note, as it says on the agenda, or is this?
Well, I don't think it hurts for us to agree that that's our period of for the notice of public rights.
So, councillors, I'm looking for a proposer that we agree this notice of public rights.
Happy to propose, Your Worship.
Councillor Cousins has proposed. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Henderson. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 14, to consider the council's strategic risk register for 2026 to 2027.
I just have to find that a second, Your Worship. Could I ask that maybe we briefly go on to agenda item 15 and we come back to 14? I just need to find that on my computer to highlight councillors where it has changed. And whether that's permissible rather than...
Yeah, I'm happy to do that if councillors are happy to do that. Sure. Just swap around agenda item 14 and 15, please. So, to consider potential traffic regulation orders for various areas in Glastonbury.
Okay.
Councillor Smythe.
Thank you, Worship. As councillor for St Mary's Ward, I've had various correspondence with regards, and I've used myself on many occasions, the obstructions along the roadway and also Torview Avenue, which cause, in my opinion, many other people's opinion, including the county councillors, a potential traffic hazard. So I fully support certainly the ones in my ward, St Mary's, and I'd ask that that be taken as a separate vote. If that's what you want, if you were wanting a vote on the whole list of TROs, because I think those are quite clear in everybody's mind, and I'd like to fully support those two TROs and take them separately from the rest, because others may have minor complications. I don't know. Is that acceptable?
Well, we've got a number of councillors wishing to speak, so perhaps if we can hear what councillors want to say, and then we can make a decision about that. Is that okay? So I'm not sure who had their hand up first. Councillor Osborne, would you like to speak to this?
I would like to suggest that we take them one by one, because I think everybody might have something to say about some of them, and I think that'd be probably the fairest and most equitable way to continue.
Okay, Councillor Henderson, did you want to say something?
Yeah, thanks. I think all these TROs are badly needed, and I'm broadly in approval of them all. I do notice there's a hefty cost, which I can't remember us ever having to pay before. I just want to clarify that.
We don't pay it, though, do we?
Well, no, we never have in the past.
So, Councillor Napper, you've got your hand up.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I'd like to put an addition on that, because in the last 6 months, around the tour school and possibly the adult building in Beckery, there's been an awful lot of parking right on the corner, and there is going to be there's going to be a really nasty accident there. So I wonder whether we could put on an extra couple double yellow lines around that corner down at Beckery.
Okay, Councillor Cameron, I know that you wanted to speak to this, or Councillor John Francesco first.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure those that you have mentioned have actually been covered. The specifics, but they are actually part of this bundle. Have you seen the bundle?
Yeah, I've got them here. Yeah. No, it's not on there.
Councillor Rooney Dougal.
Okay. I'm aware that all of these are directed at people living in caravans and vans. I feel ashamed of this, Councillor, actually. There are possibly some Christian people here who have heard of the Good Samaritan story about how we take care of people who are on the edge of the road. I remember Emma George, when she was a councillor, fighting, going to the courts to make sure that people living in vans and caravans had a place where they could live, and managed to get the site at the back of Baines. You have said on various occasions that we need to work with kindness, with compassion, with consideration, and these are to be the bedrock of our actions. These TROs are unkind. They're directed at those people who are living on the margins of our society. These are the dispossessed in general. Many of them have come from abusive families. Many of them have mental health problems. They are managed to get a roof over their heads so that they're not actually sleeping on our streets. We need to help them. We do not need to make their lives more difficult. They've been moved from pillar to post. Loads of money was spent to do the road at the bottom of the actors' estate so they could no longer park there. They got moved on from Chris Black's land, where they were doing no trouble to anywhere. They got moved on from the coal yard. They got moved on from Beckery Old Road. Consistently being moved on, which is not helping them. We need to help, not harm. We need to be kind rather than kicking people on, which is unkind. I cannot support any of this. I'm ashamed that this council is even thinking about it. We need to find a place for these people to live, and then we ask them to move from the side of the road. Once there's somewhere for them to go to. That is the most important thing of all. I cannot support any action which harms others. We need a solution, not create a further problem for people who are less well off than us. Now, I'm aware that this comes from people being strange. Those on the margins of our society are strange to people. This creates fear. From the fear comes anger. From the anger comes hatred. And this is what we see, people expressing anger and hatred towards those who are living on the margins of our society. I cannot support that. I want to work to look after the people on the margins of society, not make their lives more difficult. I want us to put all of our effort, like Emma George did, into finding somewhere for them to go. They moved onto our land down at Commonmore. We had to move them off because it was an illegal encampment and we have to go by the law. I wish the law had allowed us to let them stay on a bit of land that we can't do anything else with. We're not even allowed to plant trees on it because it's peat land. And yet a field close by, which is also peat land, has now got permission for 90 houses. That's not right.
Yeah.
Nud News has said that there are 150 caravans or whatever, but there's also 150 Airbnbs. There are places where people could live, where people could rent, but are no longer available because people are making money out of the visitors. Okay, make money out of the visitors. That's fine. No problem. But at the same time, let us find a solution, not create further problems for the marginalised and the dispossessed. Talking about Leg of Mutton Road, which is the one I bicycle up several times a week. The caravans there are on the straight and narrow. They're on the straight. Their width of them is no wider than any of the white vans that so many business people and other people use. They're not taking up any more space than those. The people there are quiet. They're not parked by anybody's house. They're not parked by anybody's garden. It's a bit of woodland that is at the back of someone's garden. They're not causing any trouble to any actual person. But as I bike up, people coming from the 20-mile-an-hour Wells Road limit all of a sudden put the foot on the accelerator and zoom up the hill. That's where the danger is coming from, people driving irresponsibly. Buses cannot get through because people are parking badly on Windmill Hill. Let's use the yellow lines to enable the bus route to be one that the buses can go through without being stopped by people parking unnecessarily. That I would like to see. Not putting a yellow line to stop a caravan from parking. That's not right. It's wrong. It's wrong. We are supporting people who are already living in houses, got the money for houses, people who've already got cars, got the money for cars, and we're hurting by moving on and moving on and moving on the people who are at least not sleeping in our doorways. We need a 20-mile-an-hour limit for Windmill Hill. We've asked for it on several occasions over at least the last 20 years. We haven't got it. Oh.
Thank you, Councillor Rooney Dougal.
Yes, I think that's enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Councillor Naff,
Thank you, Your Worship. I understand the background which Councillor Serena is talking about. Having said that, it can't be right to house people in some of the caravans or kennels that I see. I don't see a very nice caravan parked on the side of the road. Maybe I don't frequent the same places that Councillor Serena does. but the caravans that I see, they are terrible places. And not only that, if we are trying to get people out of a hole and out of a terrible place in life, those places are not the place to put these people in. They only just degenerate these people, surely, because I wouldn't want to put anyone in some of those caravans. They are disgraceful, they are disgusting, and some of them are really degenerate. And like I say, maybe I'm not seeing the same caravans as Councillor Serena is, but some of them, they are terrible, and they need to be refashioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Napper.
Not only that, we did, all the councillors, we had a vote not that long ago to did we want to get rid of the caravans? And to a councillor, everyone said yes. To a councillor. So I cannot understand why we're not pursuing this.
Sorry, Councillor Napper, I don't recall that vote or which committee that would have been in, but thank you for your, contribution.
In a committee here.
I don't recall that.
So I'm sorry, but it was.
Councillor Henderson, you wish to speak?
Yeah, I can't recall that vote either. Whilst I agree with everything that Serena says, and I think we as a council have always strove to find another solution to this problem, and I know that Somerset Council will probably have something to say about this. There's work going on behind Bailey's and behind the Zigzag building. You know, we hope that something will come of that. But I also got to say that, you know, a lot of these caravans are being provided by unscrupulous people, and people are living in them are being exploited. And, you know, as Terry said, they are being kind of forced to live in inhuman conditions, which isn't right. And, you know, maybe by solving the problem, or looking at the problem, you know, we're going to sort of stop whoever is exploiting these people from doing it, because they're obviously making money out of it. And also, we've heard several times about people who have fallen foul of whoever's providing the caravans, and they get torched. One at Windmill Hill for Legamutton Road, Serena, as well as other places. So, you know, it's not an easy problem to solve. And I've got to remind this council and the members of the public, we represent the whole of the town. You know, the 9,500, 10,000 people that live here. So we have got to sort of try and accommodate everybody's points of view, which is a really difficult thing to do. And I think this may be a hammer to, you know, crack a nut or whatever, but I think it's a start. We've got to make that this isn't an easy option. We can't just allow caravans to be placed on any part of the highway, in a lot of times in, you know, dangerous corners or blind corners, blind bends, whatever, that could cause other problems. And I think this should force us to concentrate our efforts into finding another solution, because this isn't the solution.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. I know that Councillor Cameron would like to speak, and then Councillor Manning would like to speak. Would you like to speak? Or
Yeah, thank you very much, Your Worship, councillors. I was the one who put forward all of these proposals, just so everyone's clear. And this is the third iteration after having asked for feedback from all the councillors around this table. You will note that all of these proposals are nested inside of safety issues. And I got counsel from the road engineers at Somerset that you're not allowed to put in any TRO submissions for anything other than safety issues. So we do have a number of safety issues that have been expressed to us from members of our community. I've had those emails directly, and I know that a number of you have as well. And that's reflected in these proposals here. Whether those are concerns made by individual residents or by business owners, and indeed Councillor Manning and I attended a meeting with a number of our business owners who were expressing exactly that sentiment. And they've got a number of stories of near misses and inability of getting vehicles through to support their businesses, etc. I absolutely agree with Councillor Serena. I absolutely do. And if you had been with me last weekend, you would have been in my car with two members of the van dwelling community, helping them move their own property from the vans that they were living in, that they no longer wanted to live in, but we had allocated and managed to find them council accommodation. And so I was assisting them in their move because they did not have any vehicles. So your sentiment about how do we have sufficient support for our van dwelling community and indeed proper residences to inhabit should they wish, that is absolutely what we are doing. So please, can I just offer to you kindly that this is not a binary affair. It's not TROs and everybody goes. That's not what's here at all. What's here is that we've got a problem on the roads with regard to safety in some of these choke point locations, which I agree with you, a number of our van dwelling community also inhabit. But the fact of the matter is, the vehicles there, whether they're van dwellers' vehicles or indeed white van man, etc., they are causing safety issues on those specific locations. So that's the rationale for the request. With regard to 20 mile an hour speed limits and your plea earlier, this council, I'm sorry for saying, Your Worship, we can submit these any time, including 20 mile an hour speed limits, to Somerset Council whenever you wish. And so, as Councillor Napper has said, wishing to put additional TRO applications in, we just need to file them in. It's not an instantaneous process. If this council agrees to whichever TROs we agree to tonight, there still has to be a 21-day public consultation implemented by Somerset Council. And that will then be put out to everybody to comment on. And then they will consider all of the comments that come back as to whether they will be implemented or not. They will then make a decision, and then they go to the external contractor on a long list of all other TROs for the rest of the county. So it's not instantaneous. With regard to funding, I have got it confirmed, and indeed I did send a copy of the email to the town clerk. Where TROs are requested because of safety issues, that cost is borne by Somerset Council, not by this town.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contributions. Is there any other councillors who wish to speak? Councillor Manning.
Yes, I think Councillor Cameron said a lot of the things that I was going to say, but what I still want to say, though, is that I agree with Serena that we do not want to see people living in fear of harm in this town. So we want to see people living in sanitary conditions. I understand exactly what is happening with the TROs, that these are about road safety, but as Councillor Cameron mentioned, there is a side effect that people will be evicted. And what I'm asking is that when those evictions take place, or when the TROs are put in place, that it's a multi-agency approach. And also that it's not one big bang. It's not suddenly on the 1st of August, everybody's got to move off the streets. It's got to be on a gradual basis so that everybody can be looked after, so that people can get the care and attention that they need. But I think the overall effect of these TROs is going to be a great benefit for the town, for the people, for the businesses, and it will make the place, I think, it will just make the place a lot nicer. It will be a far more welcoming place, I think, when this has happened. Thank you.
Thanks for your contributions, Councillor Manning. Councillor Don Francesco, you had your hand up, and then Councillor Osborne.
Thank you. Just quickly, really, it's just a cautionary tale, I suppose. It's what happens each time. I'm not against this happening, not certainly on all of them. I understand why they're happening, and also the thought that's gone into it and the care that has been promised. But what does happen, whether you do it piecemeal, one by one, or all together, is the caravans that can move will move, and they will go to somewhere else. And they will go to somewhere where, like down Paradise Road, or down somewhere where a TRP won't, TRO won't actually be a possibility, or even up the side of the tour where there hasn't been. So there will be, it's a bit like wacky races really, the ones that can go will, and the ones that can't are the most vulnerable people and are the poorest, and probably are the ones that are being, but the ones that do move are also the ones that are, if you like, renting their caravan from the so-called landlord. He will just take them somewhere else for people. So if we can be really vigilant and really on it, and also, yeah, just be aware of that.
Okay. Councillor Osborne.
I mean, I would agree with everything that Indra said. I mean, what we actually need is a proper site. That's the reality of this. Tinkering about with yellow lines is just tinkering. And I think, you know, in a weird way, this actually helps us find the most vulnerable, because the landlords will move the ones that can pay the rent. And they're the ones that we need to be catching and putting in safe places and supporting. And I think in some ways this actually creates us a situation where we can do this. There is a kind of weird double think here that, you know, let's keep people on dangerous places where their caravans can be whacked into by lorries. It seems to me actually their safety as well that we should be thinking about. And I also know from some of the people I know who live in vans, an awful lot of those vans are actually empty, or they use them as like weekend retreats. And I actually feel quite morally outraged at the idea of someone having a weekend caravan up Leg of Mutton Road where they come in their fancy car every so often. So yeah, I've got no problem with them being moved.
Thank you for your contribution. Councillor Lochbandu.
So thank you. Yeah. For the last couple of years, I've been one of the members of the town deal board, along with Councillor White, and maybe been able to stay in touch with the enabling project in a bit more detail than the rest of us. And I can just report that the very cautiously, there does seem to be a little bit of progress with the enabling project recently, which is the other side of the efforts we're making, which is to provide sites and places for people. It's been incredibly slow. I think we're very lucky that the deadline for the town deal has been extended by a year, otherwise we would have run out of time. But Councillor Rodney Deegan referenced the site days, which Emma George set up. When you look at that on an aerial photograph, it's an enormous area. It's absolutely full of caravans. An enormous number of them empty and derelict, and the place is full of junk. I found it very distressing to hear reports of Somerset people trying to engage those people in dialogue, and would you be open to tidying the place up and making more room, and getting a fairly firm no. It kind of points to the fact there are NIMBYs amongst caravan dwellers just as much as rich people living in nice houses. However, Somerset do seem to be on the verge of getting a little bit tougher to actually take that site, tidy it up, provide more space, and there's an enormous area for van dwellers, caravan dwellers, whatever, which I think will be a great place for them. So it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it won't happen, but I sincerely hope it will. And I can report that on the town deal board, we're pushing Somerset as hard as we can with Ewan's help to make it happen.
Well done.
So if Councillor March could speak.
Your Worship, I find myself terribly conflicted by this. I'm quite moved by your presentation, Serena. But I'm also aware of the fact that we do represent the whole town, and a lot of people have got expectations which what their life would be like, and some of the behaviour of people in caravans is bad. There's no point trying to pretend that everybody's an angel. And I'm uncomfortable about voting for a whole load of these yellow lines all at once, but I would find a compromise whereby it was phased in and you could sort of gauge reaction and effectiveness and and still find a way of, might sound a bit weak, but defending the council's position to residents that are really bothered. Are we about to be presented with a vote today on okaying the whole lot of all of those roads, or could there be a compromise to such a motion whereby they'd be phased in? One of them, if, for example, down by one of the hotels on the Beckery Road,
Premier Inn.
yeah. I do feel for the guy that's got to run that business as much as I do for individual residents around here, and particularly when he's had foul language and aggressive behaviour from people when they were asked to move caravans or something was pointed out to them. Is that a possibility? Could there be such a vote whereby we pick on this road this week? And I don't know, otherwise I'm a bit inclined, I don't like doing it, I'm a bit inclined to abstain.
Councillor Henderson?
Thank you. Just to come back to Ian's point, I think we've got to be kind of a bit firm with this. I think if we go down that route, you're just going to push people into the routes that are going to come up in another month or so, whatever, and we'll have to have this conversation again. The last one on the list is purely down to traffic. It's nothing to do with caravans at all. I mean, that is a problem on Wells Road, people double parking. So, I mean, that's something that's got to be done. As Ewan said, these are safety issues, and as unpalatable as it may be, I think we've got to take responsibility on and do what's right for the town.
Councillor Cousins?
Thank you. I feel extremely conflicted too, as Councillor Much. I grew up in an area where we had a very large Romani population, and they used to sing a song called Go Move Shift. Some of you may know it. And I remember in 2015 going to talk with Mendip about what was then called the tolerated site at Moorlands, and I had to sign a form to say I would never talk about that meeting. And with two councillors, let's call them Phil and John. And I said, what will happen to these people once you evict them? And they said, don't worry about that, that's not our problem. I said, it will be the problem of Glastonbury people, because when people are evicted from one place, they inevitably end up at another place, and that will be somewhere else in town. And I suspect that although it's not the intent or the rationale behind these TRO applications, I suspect that vans will end up in other places on the town. And we need to come up with a much better solution than more TRO.
Councillor Cameron?
Thank you very much, Your Worship and councillors, and bearing with me. I just wanted to do a final clarity, maybe. First of all, it is a multi-agency response to our van dwelling community from Somerset Council. And we, as our own council, we do have our Glastonbury van dwelling working group, which many of these points that councillors have raised have been talked about, and we're completely alive to them. Absolutely completely alive to them. Hence why I gave the story about me assisting two members of the community personally just at the weekend. Secondly, there is no capacity within Somerset Council to implement all the TROs all at once. There is absolutely no capacity. We recognise that many of the TROs on safety issues also coincide with some of our van dwelling community. And if we are to assist the van dwelling community, we need the capacity in order to deliver that. And that includes options of bricks and mortar, should they wish, as well as other sites such as the Meanwell site. And I just want, for clarity's sake, the Meanwell site has been identified. The money is still there from the Town Deal Board, and planning application is going in hopefully sometime in the month of June. That's the aspiration. And then we can start moving forward on pitches and providing hot, cold water, sanitation, etc. So this is not a binary thing. The plan to support our community, note I said our community, I don't believe there's a separation between different types of community, is absolutely front and centre. And we get the health, mental health, as well as the needs of that specific community, which is why the outreach teams from NHS and also Somerset Council are included within this multi-agency response. That said, with regard to the TROs and the vote tonight, I don't want to determine how you wish to do the vote. I'm perfectly happy how you wish to proceed with whether you want to vote for each individual TRO or as a package. It's up to you how you wish to do it, Your Worship. And then I will go forward to the Somerset Council with whatever colleagues agree on tonight and go forward. And that goes as far as to double yellow lines might not be the answer, and we might want to consider other alternatives, such as no parking during the day or no parking at night or whatever it is. These things are all options. So this is just me just throwing effectively a pebble into our tranquil water so far for us to get to ask the question, and then we can move forward.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'd like to reply, Your Worship. Thank you. Councillor Cameron, I think that this has been a bit of a poison chalice for you to pick up as our new county councillor. I would like to say that you've done a tremendous job here in putting these together and in all of the work that you're doing, and it's absolutely excellent that we have a Somerset councillor here today doing this very difficult job. And my one question, as you will know, through the correspondence that's been happening with members of the public, many of whom are very upset with the number of vans on the side of the roads. We all know, we've probably all received lots and lots of messages about this from people, not the van dwelling community, but the house community within Glastonbury. But a TRO is one thing, but they only really work if they're enforced. And my concern, as indeed it was around the original idea of putting double yellow lines down on the Actors estate, is that you can have double yellow lines, but unless an enforcement officer is going out and actually checking these sites, it doesn't mean anything. People will park on double yellow lines just as easy as parking on a road with no restrictions. So I would like, and I know that you've answered this in an email, but would you be able to, if you can, reassure this council and our community that if we move forward with these very expensive TROs, that although it's not coming out of Glastonbury purse, it does come out of the public purse, that there will be enforcement on them so that they are not just a tokenistic gesture that allays the fears of many of the people who write into us.
Yes, I'd like to reassure Councillor Cousins and the community that is exactly what is on offer. As you well know, enforcement can only happen if you've got the TRO together with the sign. And many of our signs across our community have been torn down by members of the community, whether that be in the bricks and mortar areas or whether that be most famously around the Tor. Now, we know in the Tor committee, I forget the name of it, forgive me, that we have here, we've talked about how to replace signs, put up anti-vandal signs, put them at certain heights, have replacement stickers, etc., in order to enable enforcement action to occur. And as we know, many of our enforcement officers are unable to sometimes enforce because some of those signs have been stripped down. So my challenge is, do we allow vandals, in effect, to win the day, or do we enable our enforcement officers to do the enforcement, and when signs come down we get them put up quickly? And that's what I'm trying to do within Somerset Council, and I've written about, well, goodness knows how many emails, and I'm perfectly happy to share them with you. I'm sure you don't want them because it's all one subject, to get those signs replaced, which is why the traffic engineering officers went round Glastonbury last Friday looking at all of our signs.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Councillor Smythe, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just come back to my first point, and that is to take each TRO separately, or at least each ward separately. And because there's going to be a significant timeline, a length of time when these are going to be carried out, if at all, there will be a significant amount of time. I think it's wise that we take the most serious ones first. In other words, ones that are least safe. And obviously, with that in mind, representing St Mary's Ward, I'm obviously going to suggest those two in St Mary's Ward, but I'm open to other suggestions. But I do think we should start to vote on each separate one, or take a couple together where appropriate.
Thank you, Councillor Smythe. Councillor Henderson, did you want to?
Yeah, thank you. Just come back with Mike's suggestion. I think we should take them all together. I think if you take them separately, all you're going to do is push the problems into the ones we don't decide about tonight, make them even more unsafe than they are already. It is unpalatable, as I've already said, but I think we've got to sort of bite the bullet and take this, face on. You can't shy away from it. It is a problem that we're trying to deal with in the best way in a bad situation. And if you just do half of them tonight, you're just going to make the others worse.
Councillor McDougall?
All due respect, I disagree with you completely. I think some of them are going to be very easy for us to agree, and the ones that are obviously.
Councillor, sorry, I can't hear Councillor McDougall.
Obviously, an obstruction to the highway are going to be much easier to agree. The outside St Dunstan School is going to be difficult because parents want to park there. If you're going to have a yellow line, double yellow lines there, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm not sure about outside Avalon Plastics, because that's not an obstruction of the highway. It's a bit more of a difficult one to justify. So there's some that are very obvious to me. So I think we do take them separately. Otherwise, I won't be able to agree with them.
Right to reply.
On Wells Road outside St Dunstan School, that has become, it's not just parents picking up children, people are parking there all the time now. And it's become in effect, a single line carriageway.
Councillor John Francesco.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I did think, actually, let's take them one by one, but actually, this still has to go through a huge process. This still has to go through public consultation, and also it'll have to go through it'll have to go through Somerset Council and through all their planning departments, and also whether they do actually warrant a traffic order. So I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot more stringent analysis than we actually know, and we're already kind of going, we want ones in our ward, and I think actually looking at it, actually a whole carte blanche might be. And do you know what? Let the people decide, and also let the actual people who know about traffic reductions and planning actually see whether it's viable, whether we can actually, because they could actually throw out half of these as not even viable. So, I'm not, and I know they are all a problem. The pedestrianisation is slightly different to the double yellow. I'm not quite sure what that'll do, but hey, throw things and see what sticks. But yes, I don't think half of these will get through. But I think, take them all as well.
Okay, so we've talked about this for quite some time. At Councillor Manning, do you have something else you'd like to add?
Yeah, just as Councillor Cameron said earlier, that double yellow isn't necessarily the answer. So whether Councillor Don Francesco has got the answer, that we have basically say, yes, let's go forward with the TROs, put those to the vote as to whether we go forward, and then the actual detail about exactly what sort of measures are put in place at a later stage are sort of perhaps coming out of the consultation that's going to happen.
So, Councillor Cameron, could you clarify what the process would be for us?
Yeah, Your Worship, Councillor. So, process is the traffic people at Somerset Council prefer to have parishes and town councils make proposals to them for TROs. They can go on the say-so of the unitary councillor. I discounted that because, you know, we all want to be transparent with the whole community, etc. Hence why I came through this mechanism rather than me just submitting it to Somerset Council. Depending on which ones go up from the council, that then gets submitted to the traffic team. They will then look at them and then put all of those proposals out to 21-day consultation. If we wish to go, well, we're not too sure which type of TRO, but this is the effect that we wish to achieve, we can put that on whichever TRO it is and then seek their counsel in that process. They will then make recommendations to us before the 21-day process occurs. We can then agree whichever TRO it is that they recommend in a similar sort of way as Connor just did with ticking our boxes. And then once we've agreed that, the TROs are put out for the 21-day consultation, and that's done by internet on the public portal system. And so we might want to ask our communications officer to inform the community as best we possibly can. After 21 days, it then gets reviewed by Somerset Council, and then they come back to us saying which ones have been accepted or not. That's when they have to then hand it over to their contractor and then do their own budgeting. At this moment in time, Somerset Council hasn't budgeted for any TROs for Glastonbury because we haven't mentioned that. So even if all of the TROs were accepted, plus extra ones from Councillor Napper and others, there's no confirmation that Somerset has the budget in this financial year to do all of them anyway, let alone meeting all of the wider requirements for housing and social care, etc. So this will be a graduated response. It will be over, I would assess, at least 2, if not 3 years in order to execute if we were to submit all of these TROs.
Thank you for that clarification. So, Councillor Okavandu, and then I think...
I'd like to make a proposal.
Okay, I'm looking for a proposal now.
So listening to everything that's been said, including the fact it is multi-agency, it is gradual, and so on and so on, I'd like to propose we go forward with all of these, see what comes back from the council, Somerset Council, and I think we'll still have time to modify the details and, you know, prioritise them ourselves. That'll be my proposal.
So we have a proposer and we have a seconder. Does anybody wish to speak against? Councillor Cousins.
I think that the importance of these, you see, effectively, if we do that, is this town council submitting all these TROs. I don't think that we would then necessarily have the option to change them in the future. Particularly, I think that they would go out to consultation, and it would be down to the public response to this as to what may be decided in the end, and then of course highways, etc., etc. I think this is quite an important. I've never, in my time on this council now, quite a few years, I've never seen so many TROs go through at once. Normally they are debated by this chamber. It will take time to do that debate, but isn't that why we're here? There were quite a few other people who stood for election who didn't get in, who maybe would be thinking, if I was there, I would certainly take a look at these. And it's our duty, isn't it, as councillors, to, when we have to do a bit of work, to get down and do it. We're making a decision on behalf of the whole community. I think that personally, I think that warrants us looking at these individually. It might be that this meeting isn't the vehicle for that, and it may be that we have a particular meeting of the council, which is just to look at these TROs and to discuss them in detail, because it's nuanced, isn't it? We've heard tonight, it's not just a black and white situation. As the Somerset Council has said, this is a nuanced situation. So I would like to propose that, and this is not an amendment, this is another proposal. I would like to propose that we look at them each in turn, not necessarily at this meeting, but certainly at a meeting.
Is there a seconder for that proposal? Councillor McDougall would like to second that proposal. So my understanding is that we have 2 proposals on the table. Would the first proposers like to withdraw their proposal based upon what Councillor Cousins has said? Councillor
I would just like to say that in the past, we've had a restriction on how many TROs we were allowed to apply for. So this council always debated prior to putting the application in. So say we were allowed 4 or 6, we would sit around and we'd all put our suggestions into the middle of the table, and then we would thrash it out and come up with the 6 we wanted. So therefore, once they were submitted, we kind of were all in agreement. It's kind of the opposite way around. So I understand John's argument, but I still stick by Lokabandu's proposal, and I'm quite happy to second it.
Okay, so we can now move to vote. I think we are voting on the first proposal, which is that we take all of these TROs in one go and present that to Somerset Council. Yes? So that's been seconded. So all those in favour? Okay, have you got that? Do you need people to call their names?
Yeah, it's not a recorded vote. I'm just going to make sure I get the right number. Is that a vote for Councillor Don Francesco?
Councillor Don Francesco,
Yes.
Are you
Is that a
voting
vote for?
this?
Yes. Hand is up, sorry. I was just explaining that this had gone through working.
10 in favour, Your Worship, so that would be a majority. So that would pass.
That passes.
Those abstaining.
Yeah.
Okay, those against, please.
Five against.
And those abstaining, I think that's all of us, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that motion is passed. Thank you, councillors. So moving on now to, there was an item we needed to go back to, was there?
Yes, please, Your Worship.
On those proposals.
Yes, we voted on whether,
Sorry? I thought it was passed.
Sorry, Chair. We voted to take them as a one item, but now don't we need to vote on that item?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We need another vote.
We need another vote. Do we need another vote?
Apparently.
Okay, so what are we now voting on? We are now...
So the council's agreed that you're going to consider all these traffic regulation orders in one vote.
I see.
Now need to take a vote,
I see.
presuming in favour. So now that we're taking it as one vote, the question that someone will need to propose second is that these are accepted. Propose and a seconder, they're accepted, and we need to take a vote.
Okay, can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Osborne, and a seconder?
Yeah.
Councillor Henderson. So all those in favour?
Right, hang on. So I have that as,
Do you need...
I've got 9 in favour. I've got councillors Osborne, Napper, Cook, Manning, Henderson, Lokabandu, McDougall, White, Cousins in favour. Did I miss anyone?
Okay, so
No.
those, all of those are against, and all of those abstaining. I set 5. I think that's 5.
Yeah,
abstaining.
but there's someone who hasn't then voted.
Passed anyway.
You voted for, did you? Right, I apologise. That was 10 in favour and 5 abstentions.
So that motion is carried.
Yes. Unanimously with 5 abstentions.
Thank you, councillors. That's very, very difficult and emotive discussion that we just had. Do we now need to move on, please? Councillors?
Isn't it, Terry?
Clerk, if you could please move us to the next item.
Oh, that's your job, Your Worship, but
Well,
yes.
I have.
Thank you. So we need to go back and consider the council's strategic risk register for 2026-27. So this strategic risk management policy and register, what I will do is unchanged from last year other than 2 sections. So what I'll do, your worship, it's available in the folder. I will detail the sections that have changed, and then if I can have a proposer and a seconder to accept, that would be much appreciated. So this document covers at a very high level what the town council does and the risks that are therefore associated with the different functions that we undertake and how we are run. So the sections that have changed are toward the bottom, in that now we are a council that does a lot more. You see, it's a very long document. So there's 2 sections that have changed, section 4.5 and section 4.6. So section 4.5 in relation to devolution, the resultant risk, which is the coloured column here, I've reduced it from a high risk to a medium risk, because we've now been undertaking our new responsibilities for a year. By no means are we perfect at what we are doing, but now it's more embedded into the organisation, our new responsibilities, and we are improving at them every month. So I downgraded that from a high risk to a medium risk. Section 4.6 is a new section. So that is in relation to our operations next door at St Dunstan's House, and also with the purchase of Beckery House and our plans that are coming together to use that building there. I have rated that a high risk because they are brand new operations to us for this full financial year. So you'll see some of the risk mitigations that are in this middle column that take it from a very high risk to a high risk, and that we review it continually. They are the changes to our strategic risk management register and policy. If I could have a proposer, assuming there aren't any questions, a proposer and a seconder that is accepted, I'd be much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Point of clarity.
Councillor Cousins.
Thank you, Your Worship. Is the very high risk relating to Beckery House because we still don't own it as well, or have we actually moved forward with that?
It didn't relate to the fact that we don't own it yet, Councillor Cousins, because we are quite a way down that. However, I rated it as a very high risk to begin with because they are brand new things that we are doing as a town council. So when something is completely new to an organisation, there is a high risk of not understanding exactly the hoops you need to jump through and what you need to achieve.
Well, I take it then we haven't completed on getting Beckery House.
No, we haven't completed that yet. I've got a meeting Thursday afternoon to inspect the property because it's been damaged since the last time we made an offer, but our solicitors continue sorting out the last little final bits and pieces of easements for National Grid, who have a substation on the corner but seem to want to be very greedy with the rights over the land that we are purchasing.
So I believe we're looking for a proposer.
I'm happy to propose we accept the changes.
Thank you, Councillor White. And do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Oakton. So all those in favour? And that is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if we could please now move to item 16 to note the resolutions of delegated committees.
They're on the screen, Your Worship.
Your Worship.
Councillor Napper.
Yeah, where is the Beckery? Sorry, there's a it's not where I perceived that the Beckery planning had gone in. What can I ask? What part of?
Next door to Aldi used to be Anthony Ruddles.
Ah, right, behind the boards.
Yes.
Yes. Ah, right, okay.
Is that resolved that query?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Beckery is a large place at the moment.
Okay, so that's page 2.
Go back a minute, please, to property and assets. Sorry, there may have been a.
That's the one we're on.
Um, uh, number 2, I'm deputy chair.
Oh. Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
That looks to be the end of it, Your Worship.
Thank you, councillors, and that's just for noting. So I will suffice.
Aye.
And
I don't think it was in our folder.
No, I noticed that. I'm going to save it in the folder. That was a. It's not me who saves everything in the folder, but that was a mistake. But it will go in your folder.
Thank you.
And so item 17, to receive updates from advisory committees and consider any recommendations for decision.
So the only one has been covered off separately, Your Worship, about the neighbourhood plan.
Perfect. Okay.
Your Worship,
Oh, beg your pardon.
just as it's quite a monumental thing, I would like it noted that on behalf of the Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group, we thank the council for their support.
Oh, yes, councillor Henderson.
Well, can I just add that, I was part of the neighbourhood plan committee or whatever it was in the early days, but sadly didn't stay the course. But I just want to congratulate John Cousins from being there from the very beginning and seeing it through to where it is finally at today. So I think that's a really.
Thanks, John. Okay, so item number 18, to receive our unitary councillor report.
Your Worship, councillors, for those who know me, I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and I just wish to express happy Pride to everybody this month. I would also like to let colleagues know that I've been put onto the executive committee at Somerset County level, and I just wanted to assure everyone that given that I'm in that rarefied atmosphere now, I will do my utmost to always represent the people of Glastonbury, and nay, dare I suggest, to our advantage as well. To that end, I know that we're going to make a comment on the stroke services, and at the last Avalon and Polden's Health Committee, we did discuss how to represent health needs of our communities, and as part of the neighbourhood health thing. So I just wondered whether Councillor Lokabandu might be willing to also at least let them know of whatever correspondence it is you wish to do. And then I'm not going to go into any more detail on the report that I provided everyone. I'd just like to let people know my mum had a massive stroke yesterday. She's in ICU, has no function left or right and can't speak. ICU in Carcassonne, France, which is where she lives. So I'm going to be away for 5 or 6 days incommunicado. So usual service will not be available.
Our best wishes are with you and your family.
Yes.
Best wishes. Thank you. Thank you for your very thorough reports as well.
Yeah.
Councillor Napper.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I wish your mother the very best of health. I find it a little bit disturbing, the red brick buildings, that county has found a tranche of £150,000 to get the red brick buildings, as I see it, out of Hock. And I just wonder whether the people that are owed money have been paid before that £150,000 from county has been paid to get the red brick buildings out of Hock. Thank you.
Oh, no. It's all right.
Councillor Don Francesco.
I'm not the chair of Red Brick anymore, but I certainly don't know anything about £150,000 or any money, actually.
It's been reported. It's been reported.
Okay, I then...
In quite a few places.
Different. The Beckery Construction owe the money, not Red Brick, to the construction people.
They were a subsidiary of Red Brick.
Councillor Cameron, would you like to respond?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll look into the specifics of that. But with regards to the land at Portugal Grove, known as our farming project, a response was given at executives to Councillor Hart, who posed the questions, and I've got a copy for yourself there, Councillor Napper.
Thank you.
I came prepared.
Not the red brick, it's the farm.
Councillor Cousins?
Or just as our other county council has been mentioned, I couldn't find the other county council's report and wondered whether that had been missed out as well as some of the other items that have been missed out of the folder.
No, we haven't had a report off of the other county councillor, Councillor Cousins. I haven't missed putting that in a folder at all.
I do wonder whether this council could write to whoever our other county councillor is and ask them if they would deem to come along to one of our meetings rather than just saying things at county council that cause a lot of work for people.
Yeah.
Taking over my words.
Okay.
Very happy to support Terry in everything he said about the councillor.
Okay, thank you, councillors.
I'm embarrassed now.
I do love Councillor Napper dearly, I must say.
Thank you, councillors. Okay, so item number 19, to receive updates from lead councillors and representatives to outside bodies, please. Do we have anybody who has any updates? Councillor Cousins.
So I attended the Finance Committee meeting of the Axon Brew Internal Drainage Board, and I would just like to say that in addition to all of the problems that have been occurring because of the lack of funding that's come to the Rivers Authority, Environment Agency, etc., on the main rivers, what I was very struck by was the impact of President Trump's wars on the cost of red diesel, and that this has actually had a large impact on the contractors who undertake all of the excellent work and cleaning the reens, etc. And I was really struck to hear that for 2 weeks recently, the price of red diesel was more expensive than the price of white diesel, which is absolutely extraordinary. And so I think that we should bear that in mind if folk are saying that some of the work that we normally expect hasn't happened, and I don't think this will occur, but just to bear in mind that this is actually having a significant impact on the contractors, because obviously they pitch for one amount of money to do the work, and the costs have gone up extraordinarily. Red diesel is 50% more expensive this year than it was last year.
Gosh. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Councillor Cameron, did you wish to speak to that?
I'd just like to add to Councillor Cousins, as colleagues may be aware, the government announced a £50 million package to Somerset today in order to the allocation of which is yet to be determined, but I'm certain, well, I hope that we on the Axon Brew Drainage Board will be able to at least bid for some.
Bring to that.
Fantastic news. Okay, thank you, Councillor White.
Yeah, just very briefly. Councillor Lokabandu mentioned the enabling project as part of the town deal. So planning for that is hoped to go in the end of this month. And so that goes as it goes. I know they're looking for someone to run the site, and they've sort of suddenly realised, they had sort of expertise for people who've run other sites, Gypsy, Roma Traveller, and so on, but not for new travellers or whatever. So that's an unfolding story. The other thing, which I hope I've got the date right, is for Bailey's. So the open day is at the 18th of July?
At 2 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you. So Bailey's is coming to the end of its first phase. Councillor Osmond.
You're reporting back from the Town Deal Board.
Town Deal.
Was there any discussion about paying creditors from the Life Factory? Has that ever been brought up at that level?
I don't recall off the top of my head, but we've been told that the creditors had been paid. So again, it's red brick, it's not Town Deal specifically.
I know the differences but I'm just concerned that there are still people who are telling me that they have not been paid.
Yes, Councillor Match.
I hope this is not in the wrong section, but could I just address a question to Councillor Ewan? Did you get my email about the deadly nightshade today? I appreciate you've got a lot of things on your mind right now. No, I just somebody drew my attention to the fact that there's deadly nightshade over on the Tor Leisure Field. So I did stick a few notices up. Apparently, it's really serious stuff, you know. And by the time I got round the field, I found there was already a notice there and some ribbon, most of which had come down. But you know, if a child were to go and grab or a dog, more likely perhaps an eat it.
Thank you, Councillor Match.
And apparently, even in digging it out, you've got to be careful. You've got to have correct clothing on. You keep touching this stuff, it makes you feel very ill, at least. It seems like a matter of some emergency, really.
Absolutely.
And I came in here, talked about it yesterday, I think, and they said, well, that's down to Somerset, because they're responsible for doing it.
So Cameron, given your personal circumstances and you're going to be leaving, is there a department that Councillor Match could report this to? You'll be able to do that?
I appreciate you coming along right now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you're sure, otherwise
Right.
respond and let Councillor Match know how to. Okay, thank you. It's a really important thing then perhaps other councillors ought to be aware of how to report that. Yeah. Councillor Napa. Councillor Cook, I beg your pardon. Yeah, sorry, Councillor Cook. I'm sorry.
Yes, this down at Tor Leisure, I mean, obviously, as you know, I've been there 13 years, looking after that place. This is a duty of care for the people who are in charge of the centre. It's not, you know, what's going on? Why aren't they being told, if you've got a problem with deadly nightshade, why aren't they being told to go and get it out? That's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to maintain the fields, the entire place. Anywhere there's danger, a bit of wire sticking out of the tennis court, get it down. Otherwise, a child will get his eye poked out. You know, there's so much health and safety down there that I can't believe that it takes somebody to come and say, in here, there's a deadly nightshade down at Tor Leisure. Well, what are we going to do? Oh, panic, come on. This is a business that's being run and on the principle that it protects everybody who uses that field. That's what it's there for, to be used by everybody. You can't just wash it away and forget about it and say, oh, dead nightshade, nothing to do with me. It's their responsibility. And insurance, that's what I carry insurance for.
Thank you for
I'm sorry.
highlighting that, Councillor Cook. Okay. All right, do we have any other updates from lead councillors and representatives to outside bodies? No. Okay, thank you, councillors. So looks like now we reach item number 20, which is the Mayor's announcements. And I will have to read from my laptop, please. Councillors wouldn't mind just please bearing with me while my laptop wakes up. So, members of the council, I heard yesterday of the sad passing of Alison Black, who used to be a councillor for Glastonbury Town Council. Our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences to Alison's family at this sad time. Alison was one of Glastonbury's first gang of 4 Green councillors in 2011, and she became Deputy Mayor in 2018. I knew Alison, and she was a lovely, kind and generous person, and she will be missed. It's also with great sadness that I would like us to note the passing of Hazel Pegg, who is a well-known and valued member of our community. Hazel gave so much of her life to public service and to causes she believed in deeply. Hazel was a committed, lifelong member of the Green Party and a founding member of the Green Party Women. She campaigned over many years and worked tirelessly in the cause of women's issues and equality. She was at the Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp, which is an iconic women-only anti-nuclear protest camp established in 1981 at RAF Greenham Common in Berkshire. This was formed in response to the decision to station US nuclear cruise missiles in the UK. It became the largest women-led peace movement in the UK since the suffragettes. Hazel's dedication to peace, equality and the environment was evident throughout her life. Closer to home, Hazel made a lasting contribution to our town. Through her work managing Glastonbury Online and other online platforms and providing web support to the Town Council over many years. She helped connect our community, ensuring information was accessible and our local voice was strengthened. Above all, Hazel was a mother, a grandmother and a friend, a person who will be remembered with warmth and respect by those who knew her and worked alongside her. On behalf of this council, I extend our sincere condolences to Hazel's family and friends and to Alison's family and friends, and we are grateful for their service and we will remember them with appreciation. And I know for Hazel that there will be a celebration of her life at Manor House Road Community Garden on Friday the 26th of June from 4 p.m. And I have not yet heard about any arrangements for Alison, but I'm sure those will be shared when we are aware. I wondered whether members of the council would just please join me as we stand and just have a silent minute to remember the people that have worked on behalf of this council. Thank you, councillors.
Has the flag been displayed at half-mast
For Alison,
for Alison as a member of this council?
can I ask the clerk if that is...
It will be.
Yeah, it will be. Thank you. Councillor Cook.
Yeah, it's terrible news. I was shocked when I heard about that, about Hazel. But you know, things have moved on, and I'm a director of Glastonbury Online, as is Jay Pritchard, and we've spent most of the last couple of days going through company's house for verification processes and God knows what. Hazel has done an amazing, incredible amount of work on that site, with all the finances and everything. I mean, she was strapped because of whatever, for not wanting to earn any money. It's a you know, for the community, the whole thing, the Glastonbury Online site, helping out where it can, but it's 2,000, you know, pages or whatever she had to look after. It's crazy. So
yeah,
we're going to change it to, you know, to bring it up to date, because I mean that site was started in 2002, I think 2003. So it's, you know, I absolutely don't know how she managed to do all the work. She must have been up at dawn and back in bed at dusk with a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
That's right, really, the amount of work.
She was a
that she had
powerhouse.
to do. Oh,
yeah.
God, was she a powerhouse, yeah. She'll be greatly missed, greatly missed. But I can assure you that the Glastonbury Online site is not going anywhere. It's going to go with a change, probably a big change.
Thank you, Councillor Cook.
You know, for the future.
Were there any other councillors who felt moved to say something at this point? Or, I think...
The side things, apart from amazing work Glastonbury Online and doing websites for people like Friends of Bridesman, was that she helped to keep the Phoenix alive.
Yes.
and that has now obviously moved on, and yet it's still a centre for the community. But Hazel was key in enabling the Phoenix project to happen, and it was just a wonderful community centre for many years. And, I personally will miss Hazel a lot, and Glastonbury as a whole has lost somebody who was. She was central in so many different ways. She was like a spider at the centre of a web. Her web went out very, very wide.
Thank you. Councillor Manning, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I miss Hazel a lot as well, because she was one of the founders of the Glastonbury Notice Board. And obviously, with her passing, the baton has been passed on, so the Notice Board will continue. Other people have stepped forward to be moderators as well, so that the future of the Glastonbury Notice Board is safe.
And Councillor Cousins.
I'd just like to say how very sorry I am to hear about both these amazing ladies. You're very blessed in Glastonbury to have such strong women in our community. And Alison was absolutely, for her 2 terms here on the council, she was very dedicated to Glastonbury, and she never wanted to be mayor, but we finally persuaded her. She was going to step down in 2019, so we finally persuaded her in her last year on the council to become a deputy mayor, and she did a tremendous job as that. And she was a lovely, as you said, a very loving, kind person. And I think many people will remember her as such. And I'd be very pleased to see if we lower the flag to half-mast. I think that would be very correct. As a young man, many million years ago, I remember that 3 women of Glastonbury really impressed me before I'd even come to this town. One of them being your mother, Denny Price at the time, who I knew through Stonehenge, and was a remarkable lady. Another being Dr. Serena Roney-Dougal here, who was another of my great heroes in the world, and used to go. Very strange for some punk rockers to be interested in her great writings as a studious doctor, but there we are. She meant a lot to us. And the third strong woman was someone, Hazel Pegg, who I got to know about through the Greenham connection. And what an extraordinary woman she was. I'm very, very pleased to have known her, and I'm very sorry that she has passed as well. And she was very, very strong in every way, and I think she will be greatly missed. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Okay. So I just had a few other announcements. I wanted to thank everyone sincerely for all of the wonderful well wishes that I've received on becoming mayor, on social media, in person. I've just been absolutely overwhelmed with the positive response, and I just thank everybody so very much. I don't go on social media very often, and I couldn't possibly respond to everybody who sent me a message or written a comment, but thank you so much. And I had Mayor's Day on the 22nd of May, and it was just a fantastic day, which included the school, and we had a really wonderful time. And I just, again, would like to thank everybody that was involved in that, everybody who came, everybody who supported in the background. It was really fantastic, and I'm just thrilled to have such an amazing and positive start. I have already been very busy. It's mayor making season, and I have been to Wells City Council to see the installation of their new mayor, Councillor Denise Dennis. I also went to the Street Community Investiture and Awards, and Councillor Peter Gota is their new chair. And I also went to the Bath mayor making at the weekend just gone, where Councillor Ruth Malloy was made their mayor. So it's fantastic opportunities to go out and meet other mayors. I met mayors from all over Wiltshire and Bristol, etc. And a really great honour to represent our town at these functions. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to let people know is that today we were very honoured to receive Her Imperial Highness Princess Esther Selassie Antahine this afternoon for an informal visit to Glastonbury. This is building on the connection she made at her last visit here in September 2025. We gave Princess Esther a visit to the St Dunstan's House Community Health and Wellbeing Centre, sharing with her our ethos for this project and how it is contributing to our historic town centre, as well as our population's health and well-being. We were delighted to gift Princess Esther with a replica of our Iron Age Glastonbury Bowl. These are available in the GIC, so we gifted her this bowl to commemorate her visit here today. And when she was with us in September, she had the very privileged opportunity to go into the tribunal, and she held the original bowl, which was just fantastic. So we gifted her that today as to remember and as a reminder of the connection that we hope to build upon, especially with our twinning with Lalibela in Ethiopia. And there was some discussion of maybe a pilgrimage involving our Pilgrim Reception Centre perhaps in the future. So it was a really positive visit today, and we ended in the St Dunstan's House Peace Garden, where we had some prayers, and Jenny Bliss-Bennett played a special piece of music that she had specially written for the occasion, and then Princess Esther enjoyed a walk to the top of Glastonbury Tour with Councillor Lokabandu and some other members. So yeah, it's a real privilege and an honour to receive such special guests to our town. Okay, so I think that was my mayor's announcements. And so to then move to item 21, correspondence and communications. We have had some correspondence. So we have had a copy of the press release from the Red Brick Building to let us know that a new interim board was elected by the shareholders. The board have met face-to-face with 5 representatives from Somerset Council to discuss the organisation's current position, recovery efforts and possible routes forward. And the newly elected board members have stated that their immediate focus is on financial stabilisation, transparency, rebuilding trust and developing a realistic long-term development plan for the Red Brick Building. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, sorry. I didn't see who put their hand up first. So, okay. So, we also had notification about Fusion Lifestyle, who went into administration in April, and we were informed that the Freedom Leisure has now been awarded the contract for a period of 2 years from July, and we are hoping for a seamless transition, and so it's positive to hear that those services will still be able to continue. The other thing that I would like to mention again is that we are having the Glastonbury Cooperative Fair on Tuesday, June the 23rd, from 4:30 p.m. till 8 p.m. here in Glastonbury Town Hall, which is a chance to come along and speak to our local cooperators and find out more about what we can do and what we are thinking about what we might do as a cooperative council. There are leaflets. Councillors have all got one on the table. I believe there are some to take by the door when you leave. So if councillors could please share that information on your social medias, etc. And also we learned that there is a free workshop at on the 8th of July at the Albemarle Centre in Taunton for anybody who wants to learn more about co-ops or is thinking of starting one. And there is some information here, which there's a QR code that you can scan to book your place. I think this poster is going to go in the GIC, Glastonbury Information Centre, or in one of our notice boards downstairs for anybody who might be interested in that opportunity. And so I think that was the correspondence and communications that I wanted to know. So we've already heard from the markets and what's happening with that, and some of the councillors got their hands up. So I don't know which order, but should we start with you, Councillor Cook, and then work our way this way?
That's it. Right. Yeah, work your way down there. Yeah. This is, I've written this because there's so much I wanted to say about this because it's quite important. There's a lot of people, as you know, upset about, like you said, the Dunstan's cottage. So I'll try and keep keeping it as short as possible. Right. Glastonbury Town Council's recent majority vote to demolish the community asset of St Dunstan's Cottage is a repeat, actually, of the 1990s council attempt. During the 1990s, tenants were given notice to quit, claiming the cottage was dangerous and unsafe. And then new tenants were found, followed by another couple from 2006 to 7. The bats still roost there and are still visible today. There are many stories, letters and posts about St Dunstan's cottage roost, far too many for here, but once a roost, always a roost. Okay, that's the rule for that. The UK bat and roost protection came about in 1981 under the Wildlife and Countryside Act. Today, inappropriate demolition of a bat roost is a serious wildlife crime under UK and EU law. Penalties include a fine up to £600,000, up to 6 months in prison, and the confiscation of assets. With the inconclusive conditions survey, repeated restricted attic access, and dubious EV charger claims, for over a 15-year lifespan, it is clear the council has no real respect for protection of the ecosystem. The two main contributors to bat deaths are wet nose syndrome and wind turbines. Demolition should be avoided, at least until conclusion of a professional bat survey, including attic redesign or even roost relocation. This work would be required of a planning application anyway. Currently, there is a logged potential bat crime reference number, and should demolition works be seen to start, the site will be closed immediately by police. To end this story, a business assessment should also be made by a competent agent prior to random cost announcements when the type of business has not even been considered. And I think that's probably about it for now. But there is a lot of, as you can imagine, I think you believe it as well, and I think you've seen it. There is a lot of distress about this, apart from, why. And that's what we're worried about, is the why.
Thank you for your contribution, Councillor Cook. And
Okay.
as we discussed earlier in the meeting, I think we'll have a referral back to Property and Assets to have a think about that situation and what the council may or may not be able to do, given that we have already voted on that subject. Councillor Necker.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm sure that there is a councillor or maybe two councillors that will tell me that this is not appropriate, but I have been asked to bring it up at the town council of the distaste by some people of the parish of seeing an ice cream van parked up in the St John's churchyard. I must admit, I don't like it myself, and I said that I would bring it up, although it's probably not the right place to bring it up, but I will bring it up. And a lot of people were quite distressed about it. Thank you.
I wonder, Councillor Napper, if that is something to speak to Alice, our vicar, about.
Yes. Yeah, but I was asked to bring it up
sure.
at council,
Okay.
so that's what I'm doing.
Thank you. And Councillor Henderson?
Thank you, Chair. As Councillor White mentioned earlier on, the Beckery Island Regeneration Trust are having an open day to show off the completion of phase 1 of the regeneration of the Bailey's buildings. It's on the 18th of July at 2 p.m, which is a Saturday afternoon. You'll be able to look around the building that's been completed to see the work that we've done. With regard to bats, we have had to build a bat loft. Whatever happens over there will have to be, the bats will be considered, because the bat loft, we have had to accommodate 7 different species of bats at a massive cost, but it has to be done, and I'm glad we've done that. We're also going to have a mass choir of Glastonbury, hopefully singing Jerusalem at the site, which will be filmed and broadcast and what have you. So if you want to come down and join us in a sing-song, you'd be more than welcome. So that's there will be another council meeting before this, so I will be telling you again, but there's some flyers there for anybody. Tara, I know you've got a good voice. And we hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson.
Please, right,
Okay, any more announcements?
Trying to embarrass me again.
No way. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
All right, councillors, thank you. So item 22, to consider any items for news release and or the quarterly newsletter. I'd just like to mention that our last quarterly newsletter that went out a couple of weeks ago is available through the Town Council website, and I thought it was a job well done, and I really enjoyed reading it, and I hope other people did too, and I look forward to our next newsletter. I would say that the neighbourhood plan is an item for news release. I would also say that our visit from Her Imperial Highness Princess Esther is probably an item for news release. Are there any other items that we feel? Councillor Manning?
It'd be nice to be able to, it would be nice if we could report that we've now got the disabled parking sign up in the car park.
Ah.
Oh, good.
I don't know, is that the question? Have we?
Oh, I see.
Very subtle.
Ah.
I advised the parking company, they are yet to send me the stickers, but they are aware, and the change in conditions for the car park have been passed on to the relevant bodies that be. Even I don't fully understand, but I can chase it again.
Yes, Councillor Don Francesco is waiving the cooperative.
Cooperative Congress would be lovely.
Yes,
the co-op fair.
I think we've already got.
Yeah, we've
this.
done that.
Yeah, let's do it again. Councillor Warren.
Your Worship, may I offer a short, snappy, 2-paragraph only update of what your unitary council has done for you over this month, and not provide 19 pages. But I'll be more than willing to just do a short, snappy.
Is that for the newsletter?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Okay, for our next quarterly newsletter. Thank you, Councillor Manning.
I think for balance, we should also have one from the other county councillor as well.
Whoever he is.
Sorry, Councillor Manning, I didn't actually, I was looking at this. So
I think if we're going to have a report from one of our Somerset councillors, we should have a report from the other one.
it would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so I've just been reminded by our clerk that I need a proposer and a seconder to suspend standing orders. Time 3x. Standing order 3x, because we need to extend our meeting by 20 minutes, please, councillors. Because we're at 10 to 10. Can I have a proposer, Councillor Cousins?
I'm happy to propose, Your Worship.
And can I have a seconder? Councillor Much. All those in favour? Thank you. This means that we can now.
Was that unanimous, I take it?
Was it unanimous? I think it was unanimous.
I was. Good. That's fine.
Anybody against? Anybody abstaining? No, I think that was unanimous.
Excellent.
Okay, so we will extend our meeting by 20 minutes so that we can continue to item 23, which is to review actions arising from the meeting?
Thank you, Your Worship. So I've noted that we need to provide a response to the letter about the hyperacute stroke unit in Yeovil. The responsible financial officer will assemble all the paperwork that's needed for our annual governance and accountability return, and I will put all of that information on the website as well, and we will display the document for the notice of public rights. Councillor Cameron, are you going to liaise with Somerset Council about the TROs that we have supported this evening? And I've noted the items for news release, the neighbourhood plan, the visit from Her Imperial Highness. We will share again the messaging, excuse me, about the cooperative event, and Councillor Cameron will provide us with a couple of paragraphs, and I will email Councillor Hart and ask her for the same. And I'm also going to chase the stickers for the car park.
Thank you. Councillor Cousins?
A point of order. As we have seen today with our annual reporting, there's such a tremendous job that our clerk and our responsible finance officer and the clerk's office does, that we are in fact not bankrupt as I'd read online, but actually doing quite well.
Fantastic.
Could we have a formal vote of thanks for the town clerk, the responsible finance officer and the clerk's office? Meeting?
Yeah, here. Thank you. Okay, so to item 24, to pass a motion in accordance with the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, amended by the Openness of Local Government Bodies Regulations 2014. The press and public will be excluded for the following items due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Henderson, seconder. Councillor White. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Okay, thank you very much. So if we could please